the next one, it's another Australian game, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. Get fired up here. This is a weird little game you may have heard of before. You may not have if you're not a Tetris aficionado like myself. It's called Wetrix. And this was kind of one of those weird 90s had a lot of what do you call it? I don't even know if I have Wetrix's maybe it might be in the other folder. A deconstruction of the basic game of Tetris. There was Tetris Attack, Magic Tetris, Tetris Challenge, Hatris, Wertris. There were a lot of Tetrises, right? Wetrix is kind of one of those, but sort of, but not really, right? It's a bit strange. We're going to see that in a minute. Because you're playing with shapes. You're doing it in a kind of weird way. But anyway, the cool thing about Wetrix, number one, it was an Australian-only release, which is unique, and that's kind of fitting our European theme. And the other thing is that it's actually a pretty faithful um, port of the console game. And a big caveat before we begin, I want to emphasize this. I unfortunately cannot show the regular console footage side by side because anything I do will obviously sink the ship, right? That's not really something we want. We don't want the stream to reduce itself down to 3 frames per second or just completely crash the computer like it's been prone to do lately. So you're going to have to take my word for that these games that I found they are not only functioning in a very similar or identical capacity. So if it's a puzzle game, it plays like a puzzle game in the same format. If it's a first-person shooter, you're going to play it like a first-person shooter. I'm not talking about these games where they are like a racing game and then they become like a top-down racing game. Like you'll see some of the examples that I was able to pull out because there are some actual examples on the Game Boy Color. Alright, so this is Wetrix, and it plays pretty much like I want to. I'm not going to call this a graphical downgrade because just a lot of it's missing. Like obviously some graphics just aren't here because the console game looks very nice. And had a very cool background and all that stuff. So the premise is, I think you're building. It's like 3-dimensional Tetris, and you're kind of watching the floor get built up rather than like a column or a row. And you can layer your shapes on top of each other to get bigger ones. I guess that's something. Okay, let's go down. I don't know what this is. Things are happening here. I'm not entirely sure what. Oh, I see. The water's filling. Okay. So are we supposed to be building up? Very confused about this, actually. Where does it want the water? On the ground? Or on the blocks? What's this game? Yeah, I'll be honest, not entirely sure what's going on. Level up. That's good. Apparently I'm doing something now, I guess. Apparently I lost. I guess. Okay. So that's Wetrix. It looks much nicer on the console, but you can actually play it if you so desire.